Okay, so we can all introduce ourselves. My name is Jatinder Kangura.
My name is Janae Williams.
And my name is Kimberly Lopez. So for the first slide, we have the book for Becoming Visible by Nurse Candy. At the beginning of quarantine 2020, Nurse Candy, founder of F.I.T Butterfly Inc., connected with 7 remarkable women and began writing their book, Becoming Visible, Volume 1. It consisted of trauma to transformation and butterfly principles to help others feel seen, heard, and witnessed to heal. Our group held behind the scenes. My role was moderator, co-host of event. I contacted each co-author to pre-screen them before the pre-book launch event. And Janae did the campaigns to fundraise, while Jay did the social media marketing for the nonprofit organization. We each completed 30 hours and gained a lot of knowledge, growth, and awareness when it comes to traumatic experiences and healing. I learned that once you have a vision and a purpose, the next move is to gather a team of like-minded people and emerge together. The 4 E's of F.I.T Butterfly Inc. are power, empower, evolve, exchange, and emerge. This is the purpose behind F.I.T Butterfly Inc. And Nurse Candy empowered me to evolve and start my own journey of sharing my healing and transformational journey through writing to keep the exchange going. I will stick to my dreams of becoming an author one day, and I now have a background of seeing behind the scenes of becoming authors.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit more about some of the principles. One of them is empower. And in one of her IGTV videos, she talks about in episode 3 of like what happened to you doesn't define you. And my role for this was kind of social media. I did do like Facebook and Instagram posts, but I think most of the information I got out of this was from her speaking in her interviews, which she does very well. Um, Especially being my first semester in sociology, I really learned a lot from her. One of her other principles is evolve. So if you have fear, you can still do it anyways. It's normal to be scared of change, but she kind of teaches you to stand on your 2 feet. So then the next one is exchange. When you're hearing other stories, not only lets you know that you're not alone, but it helps you to better understand your trauma in order to grow from it. I think this is one of the biggest things that I learned because you hear about the whole Me Too movement in the media and everything like that, but I had no idea what Me Too was, and I never even had anybody try to explain it to me. So what I kind of got from Nurse Candy was the whole Me Too purpose is to let others know that you're not alone, to kind of unstigmatize these domestic violence events. So people aren't scared to talk about it. People don't get shamed by their family members because that's a big problem. Nurse Candy also does a lot of interviews with her co-authors and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from them as well. Another thing I learned about is all the different kinds of abuse because we only think of like physical abuse. But one of her co-authors actually said that the verbal abuse was way worse than the physical abuse. She said she could have dealt with the physical, but the verbal is what really stuck with her and what she had to kind of get over in her journey of healing. Another kind of abuse is the financial abuse. There was another person that she interviewed who was trying to get away from her abuser, but she just kind of didn't have the financial means to, and the husband controlled all the financial means. Another principle is emerge, and she talks a lot about your journey of self healing. I wanted to share a quote from Your Wings Matter episode 2 on her IGTV, and the person she was interviewing, the author of a different book, was saying to go back to the beginning. Um, in her book, she talks about an upside down event, an event that happened in your life that impacted you. This impact changed your behavior or the way that you think and created a new norm. She says she doesn't think a woman wakes up and says that she wants to be in an abusive relationship or wake up and want to be in toxic friendships or somewhere along the way. She thinks somewhere along the way something happened that impacted the way that you see yourself, the way that you question your value or your worth. Her advice is to go back to the beginning to where you had your trauma and try to trace these dots back. Steve Jobs said, you can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards and hope that they all make sense. Don't dwell on the past, but rather stop avoiding things. Look at it as a space, empty it, and fill it with power. Um, so quotes like this and her public speaking is what really helps people out. And what I kind of got from this project is if we hear each other's stories, we can get power from it and we can try to start our healing process and move forward in a healthy way in our lives.
Hey everyone, this is Janae speaking, and my mission for the project was to create a sponsor letter and send it out to other organizations in order to bring awareness to the F.I.T mission and hopefully gather some donations. I sent over 30 organizations a sponsor letter that me and Nurse Candy worked on in order to, like I said, bring more awareness and hopefully get donations so that, health facilities like this can stay open for those who may not be able to financially be able to afford it. So what I learned from this experience is that 1 in 3, it is unfortunately estimated that 1 in 3 girls will be in an abusive or unhealthy relationship. Abuse can occur emotionally or mentally. They both are equally as damaging. It is estimated that 3% of adolescents in America alone are victims of sexual, physical, verbal, or emotional dating abuse. You may ask yourself, well, what are some signs that you might see when it comes to someone being abused? Just to name a few signs, it can be changes in behavior, seeing a loved one or a friend no longer being themselves, isolation in which that person no longer wants to hang with people that they love and care about, name calling or belittling, which can make the victim feel like they don't matter, they're unworthy. You might start to notice some bruises or injuries that seem to be consistent when seeing a family member or a friend who may be abused. You also might notice a lot of anxiety and depression seems to overtake that individual that is going through the abuse. And lastly, they're constantly with their dating partner. For example, it seems wherever the victim is going, the abuser follows. So like you might notice that the boyfriend or the girlfriend seems to keep hoovering over every action and word that, the victim might be saying. So yeah, those are a few of the signs that you might see. So the next slide is abuse. Can you identify the signs? So it is violent behavior tends to occur between the 6th and 12th grade. That's actually quite shocking because they are so young. They're basically kids still. It is estimated that 13 and 14-year-olds are starting to date. And with that, women with an average of 72% are subject to a form of abuse from those dates, starting at 13 and 14 years old. I always knew abuse occurred, but at the rate of which abuse occurs was actually mind-blowing for me because I never knew that abusive behavior could happen so young. Next slide, please, Jay. So kind of a little bit more about our organization, F.I.T Butterfly Innovation Inc. It means Female Inspired Transformation. It is a safe space for teens and women who have experienced domestic violence, sexual assault, trauma, grief, teenage pregnancy, or codependency and want to be heard, seen, witnessed, and believed in. So that recovery and healing can be accomplished. If you personally think or know someone going through a form of abuse, that individual would tremendously benefit from this program with Nurse Candy and all the strong women involved with the program. Last year alone, in 2019, FIT served over 60 women between the ages of 14 and 55 years old within the community. FIT really has impacted many lives for countless women and young girls of generations to come. Like stated in the beginning, it's a goal to focus on empowerment, involvement, exchange, and emerging together in order to break the cycle of abuse. And now I'm gonna have Kim, she has a little something extra to say, and thank you.
I stopped the share. And then we're just gonna explain the video real quick.
How was our time looking?
Nurse Candy often said, "We don't look like what we've been through." I'll leave us with this quote before sharing a music video. Music can heal the wounds that medicine cannot touch. Honeygold Jasmine gave a woman empowerment talk relating to her music video and mission. Honeygold shared her video premiere to the audience of the pre-book launch event of Becoming Visible Volume 1. To end our presentation, we'll play her song with beautiful visuals titled Everything That Makes Your Heart Beat. Enjoy.
And I don't know if we mentioned, but she was also at Nurse Candy's book launch. That's why we picked the video, as well as being related to the material. So that concludes our presentation.